Hey Alex, how's it going? I thought you'd be in the horror of no weekend build streams. Didn't realise you'd be stealing Jay's slot. No, I'm not stealing Jay's slot. I'm just coming on a little bit earlier than he is. If he was streaming, I would I'd host him afterwards. So there's no need to worry about stealing slots. We're all friends in this group. Oh, just pulled my headphones out a little bit. Whoops. Staying on the wire. So I need to take this apart quickly. Forgot that I installed the stabs yesterday onto this and then didn't bother uninstalling them ready for the stream, so I'm just going to uninstall them now. So also, unfortunately, I was busy yesterday as well, so how you doing there, Alex, though, nonetheless? How's your weekend been so far? As I'll always ask, how is the music levels? Loud? Too loud? That loud? I swear down that they do change on a each time that I load it. It just loads just random defaults. I'm fine, been chilling really. Music is a little loud compared to your voice. Okay, let me just turn it down a little. It might have just been that one song that was loud. There we go. Been listening to this playlist off of stream. It's quite nice actually. See where the loops managed to escape. Just quit out of Origin. Quit Origin, yes. It's likely to crash everything now. Alrighty, so we'll get started with this. So this is my HS60. You can see it's got little marks here and there. I lubed some stabs and I've sort of over lubed them a little bit, and so it's escaped onto the PCB. But yeah, it's not too much of a problem. Give it a quick clean just to make it look a bit nice. So this is going to be a relatively short stream today, seeing as it's a hot swap build, so it should be an extremely quick build, and so we're going to be building them together with some Helios. So these are the Helios here. So lovely orange stem. So these are the Helios. You can see that the pins on the underside, I've desoldered these, and so these came off of my this board here actually, because I swapped 72 gram Xylants into there. So what was in this before was what was in there before? Silent black stems and in Zelio housings, so Zelio V1 housings. So I did quite a lot of testing, and I found that the Helio V1 housings are better for linears compared to the V2 housings because of the leaf that is used in there. The V2 leaf just causes more friction. Great for tactiles, not so great for linears. So I gutted this board a couple of weeks ago now and streamed that. And since then I've had the V2 silence in here, which I love, and then a bunch of bottom housings and a bunch of top housings. And there's a couple of random red switches in there, but you can see in there I've got a bunch of 72 gram springs, a Timber Ice tight tops, and a bunch of silent black stems. And so we've now swapped them for these. So these are Zeal's newest line of switch. These are Helios, and so these are a silenced linear that he's brought out. And the reason that I've decided to swap for this over the silent blacks in Helio housings. Oh, thank you very much for Alchemist KB. Oh, Alchemist KB is Satan Chris. Hi, how you doing? I hope you're having a good weekend so far. But as I was saying, the difference between those and these are that you get full travel on these. You don't get full travel on the other ones. For some reason, it just won't work unless you're using the original cherry housings. So what I decided was get a bunch of Helios. This isn't the final place for these though. These are going to get put into a Mech 27 in a couple of weeks time when that arrives. So when that turns up, these will get pulled out of here because this is just going to be my test rig for a little bit, and we'll then move forward with that really. So I've got a few things that I need to do in this stream, which are going to be might be quite fun. So on one of these, I can't remember which one, it's this one here. Have I magically chosen the right one? Yes, I have. I've just broken it as well. Whoops. Whoopsie. Is it popped off of both sides? No. So, I'll show you guys this very, very lightly. You might not be able to see it here. You might be able to just about see it. If I bring the camera right in, you can see right on the corner I've put some clear heat shrink on there, and I decided to clear heat shrink these to see how they work, and they do a very good job of silencing the stabs quite a lot more than the old methods that I used. So I'm still going to do the old methods of putting hockey tape on there on the PCB, and that works quite nicely. But this does really help out. Yes, yeah, the Rama method. Yeah, the Rama method. Saw it on his thing. Somebody on the MK UK Discord was asking how to lube and all of this sort of stuff. Stabs, and I went on there and I didn't realise that he had that on there, so went forward and done that myself. So what I'm going to do is I've got some heat shrink here. I've also got a heat gun. I will turn the volume off when I use the heat gun, and it's literally just going to be to shrink this heat shrink. So this is, I honestly can't remember the length of the heat shrink. Let's just have a look. Just load my eBay up. It's on there. eBay. So, whoops, press summary, whoops. So, where is the heat shrink? You're not going to tell me, are you? So, oh, sorry, okay, so this is 1.6 mil. This is 1.6 mil heat shrink, and it shrinks down to 0.8 mil when you heat it. And I decided to go for the clear. Oh, we've got Top Clack watching. I'm assuming Jay. Jay, how you doing? Jay, if you're streaming after this, let me know. Send me a message on Discord, because my intention was to host you. I keep forgetting what it's called. I was intending on hosting you if you were going to be going live after I've finished streaming. So we're going to get going with that nonetheless. So we're going to get this PCB put together. Oh, in fact, I should show you guys. No stream today, just back from holiday. Oh, where have you been on holiday? So what I'll do is I'll just show you guys the other bits. So we've got a few other bits that are going to go on this. So I got a nice plate cut. You can see it's got some horrible fingerprints on it already. Brass, unfortunately, it gets fingerprinted really easily. They have done a finish on it, but I still can't stop. I can't stop getting fingerprints on this damn thing. But so this is a nice plate that Laserboost have done for me. I mean, I've got their little card over here. So Laserboost. So I've got a nice plate, brass, and it's in the ISO 60% standard poker style case plate. And I think it cost me 40 quid, 50 quid, something like that. So, I mean, cheaper than anywhere in the UK that I can get it. So, oh bloody hell! I'm gonna say it's Kami Sama, K4M1 Sama. How you doing? Hey dude. So Jay has just come back from Top Clack. Very nice. But sure, we can do a host swap. Just are you telling me that you're outside? You're outside the back door right now. You're gonna kick the door in a minute. So what we're gonna do is we'll get going on this part of the build. So I'm gonna use these ones that I've done in the past as a bit of a guide for me on how much needs to be used. I believe it's 6mm. Hi Lunatwix, how you doing? So we're going to get a little bit of this, and I have a pair of calipers. And the only reason, big old boards. So let me just turn this on. Oh, 0. There we go. I believe it's 6mm. Go on, go to 6mm. It's going to wind me up no end. 5.9, 6.1. Put her out. Can't be bothered. I've come back from Budapest, not Top Clack. Sorry. Yeah, Budapest. How's the weather out in Budapest at the moment? Good? Bad? Indifferent? We've had rain here all day, except right now. It's nice weather outside. And I'm just going to give this a little cut. Come on. So I'm just going to make a couple of these just quickly. They don't need to be that accurate because they are going to get, it is going to get shrunk to about the right size. Way too professional using calculators. Calculators? Calipers. I don't know what's going on today. I guess a ruler is too basic. You can use a ruler. I just don't have a ruler anywhere in the house at the moment for some reason. Sunny in Budapest. It's rainy back here though. Oh dear. Matt can't read, confirmed. I mean, I bought a keyboard to type, not to read. done do the talkings, not do the readings. It's always rainy here though. Where I'm assuming that you're saying the UK, but where in relation to the UK is it? I mean, if you say Scotland, then yeah, I feel sorry for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these as well, because I tried to do these the other day and they just move about. London, oh, so you're not too far away from me, I guess. Not one of those northern bunch. So that's 5, I think. Kind of difficult to see them. They're there. Hope everybody in the channel has bought their meetup tickets. Anything above London is northern to me. Yeah, anything above the Watford Gap. Okay, so we've got 6 there. So let's just put these to the side. So it's right on the curve. So I've got a little bit of super glue. So I'm only going to use a very tiny amount here. I just want to get it to hold in place because unfortunately they do move about. Okay. Is the heat gun plugged in? No, it isn't. So, I have a heat gun. And this is either going to set my desk on fire or do many other stupid things. It's not turned on, is it? Go on. I've got a multi-plug just behind the screen, so. However, I am the king of bad ideas, so. Got to shoot, be back. Back later. Cool, cool. Have a good dinner, dude. Alright, now that he's gone, we can talk bear smack. So Alex says, lol, I have them for some things, but things, to be honest, I would use the stabs itself to get the length and just chop the heat shrink off at the end of the stabs. Unfortunately, in his guide he does say to use 6mm worth, and so I'm vaguely going by his idea. Yeah, bought my ticket, gonna be my first meetup. Just got into this hobby about 4ish months ago. Very nice, very nice. Well, it's the meetup is a great spot to be able to meet sort of like-minded people and in the community. It's also a great time to try out boards. If you're on the fence about, say, getting a going for Gatorons or over cherries or buying Zelios, I mean, quite a lot of the time they're a big investment. And the meetup is the prime spot. Or if you want to go to the old fogies corner, you go meet Alex. I joke. Alex is the curator of some of the oldest boards that we get at the meetup, so I'm hoping he's going to be bringing his keycat along again. That thing is beautiful. Wish I could come to the meetup. None are happening in my area. Where is your area? I mean, we've got a number of people coming in from other countries for the MK UK meetup this time around. Quite a lot of glue on there. Got a bag. Yeah. Quite a lot of glue on that then. Yes, the keycap will be coming. Hey, time to steal a pool ball. Okay, so they're all done. Let's just put this one back on. Oh, a bunch of messages. I'm more curious about old switches because I've already had a fiddle around with Gaterons, Cherries, Halos. Not felt Zelios though. So Zelios are great switches. I've got them in three of my boards now, and yeah, solid switch. But to be fair, the meetup is more about trying what other people have done to switches, like lubed switches and modified switches. There'll be loads of modified switches, and so if that's your sort of thing, or you want to just try some new stuff out. I mean, I'll probably be bringing my Amber Alps board along with me. So if you want to give that a try, you're more than welcome to at the meetup. So, all right, guys, I'm just going to go silent a second because I am going to whack on this bad boy. And so I'm going to mute my mic whilst I do this. I don't want to deafen you all. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. Alright, and I'm back in the room. So, I see your comment there, Alex. I should use a tea light. I actually find that I get better results off of this thing. I'd only use a tea light and stuff like that generally when I'm trying to melt it. I'm just going to put this down on the floor beside me here. because I've done an awful lot of cable braiding and stuff like that, and I find that that gives better results at sort of shrinking it, and a tea light or an actual flame gives much better results if you want to just melt it. Okay, let's put this back together. So one thing that I will note, I have already clipped and lubed these. I likely will give them a little bit more lube here and there as I go. But they feel pretty good to me. So they're also moving quite nicely as well. So let's see what everybody else is saying. There are some meetups happening in Europe, Copenhagen and Germany. One of these would be closer. I think there is one in Germany. It's either a week before or a week after the MK UK one. Can't remember which side it's on. But yeah, head to one of those and give one of those a try. I mean, the guys are likely to be on the keyboard, the UK Discord, so drop them a message and I'm sure they'll get back to you. I think Fax is doing one, isn't he? If I'm not mistaken. Oh, hey, Mayor Advice Guy. Sorry, I didn't see your message there. How you doing? You having a good Sunday? Do you think the mechanical keyboard in the UK is the largest compared to other places in Europe? I would think possibly yes. The meetup is, yeah. The community-wise, I would probably say that there probably is more people in Europe, but the MK UK has sort of taken the moniker of UK and Europe at the same time. You find that there's an awful lot of Europeans in the MK UK Discord. I mean, we Brexited and they're still there, so. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Don't want to put these in just yet. So let's put these to the side a second. So we're going to be doing another one of my mods. So this is hockey tape. There's bits of stuff attached to it all over the place. Let's put that in there. So what we're just going to do is we're going to hockey tape this section here. Can I get it to focus? Are you going to focus nicely? Come on. Come on. There we go. So we're going to hockey tape mod this section here and this section here, and obviously on all of the other stabilized keys we'll do the same. Come on, focus. Yeah, so here, what would be here and here, here and here, and then on the space bar here and here. So we're going to hockey tape mod those, and I do think that this is a bit like a band-aid mod. It's a band-aid mod pretty much, but I find that this stuff is slightly nicer. And also you get a whopping great big reel of it. And I mean, I've band-aid modded all sorts. I mean, desoldering pump, everything. Everything gets band-aid modded in the house now. So let's just chop a section off here. So in the next couple of weeks I've got some interesting switches coming in. So I have got some Temu Silent Sky linears. The guy that makes the Temu Silent messaged me after, he messaged me after the stream, and he said that he was going to be making them, and I had some interest in that because I'm all interlinears at the moment, and so yeah, I took up his offer, and he is going to be sending me some Silent Skies. Really looking forward to them now. And so what I'll likely do is I'll swap them out and put them onto this, so you guys can have a little listen of them. So let's see how long it needs to be. It needs to be a little less than that. So what I should do is I should use my calipers to do this. So how long does it need to be? 10 mil. He's got his eye in. So I'm just going to put a little piece just here. So I'm running the Copenhagen one. Need to get it sorted so people can purchase tickets. Yep, you will definitely need to get that sorted. Not being able to buy tickets is a well, unless you're doing a free event. If you're doing a free event, then who needs tickets? But I would be assuming you aren't doing a free event, so. Mechanicon is bigger. Oh, it's bigger, is it? Oh, dang. That's the one that's sponsored by Candy Keys. Candy Keys, yeah. We must be the biggest paid for event in Europe. Is the Mechanicon paid for? I don't know if it's paid for or not, or it's a completely free event that's just sponsored. Albeit I'm still against having sponsorship to deal little. Mechanicon was about 200 attendees. Oof. That's big. We're probably going to have about 80 or 90 for the MK UK. We're looking at selling a few more tickets, seeing as there's been quite a few people that have missed out on them, unfortunately. You were waiting for the return of the calipers. It's donation based and Candy Keys pays the rest. And Candy Keys was the sole sponsor, seeing that my keyboards was not allowed to attend as a vendor. Ooh, that's I'm not too keen on that. The idea of that. I mean, if you want to come as a vendor to the MK UK one, just pay for a ticket. Pay for a vendor's ticket, you can come as a vendor. I mean, it's all well and good, but realistically, Candy Keys are buying the venue and paying for the event, and so I can see Candy Keys' reasons for it. They don't want their next biggest. I'm assuming My Keyboards EU are their next biggest competitor. I can understand why you wouldn't want your next biggest competitor just rocking up at the event that you're doing. I would be a little bit miffed, but at the same time, it's a little bit funky. Oh, this one's not stuck down properly. Here is this one. Interesting. Alright, that's it. Stuck down properly now. I'll move this. Why do you not want to stick down? Half tempted to put a little bit of glue on there. Yeah, not going to go to Mechanicon again. Apparently it's not Candy Key's choice. It was the event organizer that decided it, from what was told. Not because they're not allowed to do it. Ooh. That makes things a little bit more funky, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't like to be the organizer at all in that scenario, really. It's well, it's a bit of a shit place to be, really, isn't it? I've got a message on Discord. Is this Jay? No, it's keyboards. I'm getting messaged by Bledden. Coughing gaps. But competition is surely good for the community, otherwise it's a monopoly. Yeah, you're right. Competition is always good for the consumer. However, at a private event, it is a private event that falls into. Candy Keys can do whatever they like. They've paid for the event space. I mean, if you don't like it, pay for your own event space and do it yourself. Also, one of the reasons why when I've been organising the meetups and stuff, we've had the opportunity to be sponsored before and obviously have ticket subsidies and stuff like that, but it's also the reason why I've never decided to go down that route, because having a sponsor would be lovely and being able to subsidise the tickets would be nice. By $5 each or something like that, it would be lovely. But have somebody else having the final say on things, of like who's allowed to come as a vendor and who's not entirely my cup of tea. But we'll see what happens after this one. I mean, one might be more open to that idea than me. I'm just not keen. But let's get away from that topic nonetheless. So, what are your next builds, guys? I'm always interested to know what people are going to be bringing along to the meetup. I'll start off. Obviously, this board will be coming to the meetup with me, so that people can give it a try out. Likely won't have the Helios on it. in a couple of weeks' time, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I guess a couple of you guys missed it, I will be getting a Mech 27 in. I'm intending on Cerakoting it because it's got a horrible anodization. The bottom is probably a shade or two darker than the top. Pretty horrifically bad. But nonetheless, I have one coming, so excited. But yeah, Mech 27 with the Helios, and it has also got a C3 LDN PCB, which I am very happy to have. It was one of the main reasons that I bought it. Also the fact that I got a refund from Z Frontier, so the other reason. I'm going to be bringing a 60% keyboard, a G860 PCB in Gateron greens, and if the parts arrive in time, the Tofu 65 and cherry blacks. Ooh. Which cherry blacks did you go for? Did you go for the standard cherry blacks, or did you go for the silent ones, or did you even go the full hog and go for some vintage ones? I did a stream on here a couple of weeks ago now for a client, Dalsu, and I built a vintage blacks board for him. Very smooth, very clean. Unfortunately, he did put his Enjoy PBT caps on, and the enter at the enter key wasn't playing ball. I'm assuming because Enjoy PBT doesn't have quite the standards of GMK, and obviously I built it using GMK Pristine as the sort of the base. So he's sending it to me, sending it back to me, and I'm going to sort that out for him. Okay. Cool. That's all moving nicely. All retooled, yes, all retooled, yeah, that's a fair point actually. I always forget about retooled. Standard ones, oh, very nice nonetheless. I'll always suggest a little bit of lube on them, because it does make them feel just that little bit more crisp. You don't need much lube on them though, so. But they're a good switch nonetheless if you don't want to bother lubing them at all. I know a lot of people that don't bother lubing them at all, so. Zondam might even have a board that's unlubed like that. Oh, and hello Chimandu, how you doing? Are you having a good Sunday evening so far? Sunday afternoon? I'm going to be going and watching Captain Marvel this evening. So I'm just going to get a couple of these switches down, just to make sure that the plate is sitting nice and flat. So just popping these into, so this is my brass plate if you guys didn't see it earlier. So this is a custom job by Laserboost, who are Europe's premier keyboard cutting, laser cutting servers, I guess. I can say that they're premier because I don't know any of the others, so I'll say that they are. I will probably bring. Okay, so let's have a look at the list that he's going to be bringing. So he's going to be bringing an AMJ40 with skies, maybe silent ones. I'm assuming they're the tactile ones. The 50, the THE50 with phase switches. If I don't get my CF plate before, so CF carbon fiber. Another AMJ40. Don't know what switches yet. Maybe a Daisy with yellows and then maybe some stuff. So the one thing that I've got to remember to bring for you is a soldering iron. Goddamn Twitch formatting. I won a smallish Hall effect board from eBay yesterday, so I might take that to the beat, but it depends on what I can fit in my case given my others I'm bringing. So what other boards are you bringing? I know there's normally quite a selection of old boards that are coming along that have to meet the grade. Looking forward to it. Good. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. Have you got all your flights and everything sorted now? Okay, one thing that I am going to do quickly is I'm going to put the stabilised keys in place quickly, just to make sure that they are functioning correctly. Feels good to me. And to the backspace. Very smooth. Very smooth. The shift key. Also very smooth, and there's the ISO entry. It's going to be right at the bottom, isn't it? Yes, it is. Come out of there. That feels great. Happy with the feeling on that. Looking forward to it. Did I miss the lubing of the switches? I can show you how to lube the switches if you like. I don't mind. Let me put the board together first, and then I've got a bag of switches just over behind me, and I will put together a Lubed Healios for you, demonstrate how to do that. Seeing as I do actually have the 205 grade 0 on my desk for it, so. And I do know that only one of these switches is a bit funky, and when I mean it's a bit funky, when you try it, it feels completely normal. And excuse me. And when you decide to put a keycap on it, a sort of like a bump, almost like something is inside the switch, appears out of nowhere. It's really weird. I took it out, popped it out. Can't feel it whatsoever. It's really weird. So I will relube one of the switches for that. So it might be this one. It is that one. So we're going to swap that one out nonetheless. Because these should be gliding very smoothly in comparison to any other switch. Yeah, both flights and hotel all good, but expensive as frick. I mean, it's London. It is London. You're not going to get around it being expensive, unfortunately. I have tried to help out where possible though, on bringing that cost down, seeing as we've now got quite a nice hotel, and obviously you guys get a 10% discount and free breakfast. So. Hotel. So hotel and planes to Cologne is cheaper than the flight to London. I don't know why London is so expensive sometimes. I mean, even me getting a train up is going to be like 30 quid. It's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. Not cheap at all. I wish it was a bit cheaper. And I mean, I'm coming from the outskirts of London. I'm probably an hour on the train, something like that. And even then, it's prohibitively expensive. The free breakfast at the hotel best be worth it considering the price. Well, you wouldn't be getting a free breakfast at the hotel if it wasn't for me. I don't know how I managed to swing that deal, but they gave me an offer code and everything. So I mean, we are staying in central London on the Easter weekend. It's gonna be fairly expensive, but at the same time, we've got a great venue, great location, great place to go out for drinks and food afterwards or the day before. So, I mean, pay for what you get, really. Okay, so bar one switch. So let's grab the parts that we need. So the parts that we're going to need, not these bits, not this bit, these aren't my switches either. Let's sell these. So, I've got more switch film here for some reason. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a bottom housing. So bottom housing. We're going to need a single top housing, stem, switch film in a minute, and a spring. 72 gram spring that I've lubed. So let's just get the brush. Don't need this. That's super glue. Don't want to put that in there. So, after trial and error, I'll show you guys. So here is the switch. So this is the switch housing the bottom housing. So we're going to lube absolutely everything inside of here pretty much. So we're going to be lubing, I've got a little bit of lube on the end of here, so I'm going to be lubing this side, this rail, the bottom, the well, and the leaves. So the leaves, if I can show you guys a bit easier, put that down there for a second. Oh, 1 second.
Do you want some spaghetti and meat?
Anybody want any spaghetti and meatballs? My mother. So, back to what we're doing. So, you can see there is, on here, you can see just this side here and this side here on the leaves. I'm going to be lubing those 2 spots. And they're the bits which, those are the bits which make contact with the actual stem itself. So I'm going to be giving those good lube as well. So let's just get to it. I'm probably using a little bit more 205 than I would normally use, and I find that these switches benefit from that. Maybe like Healios, for instance, which I've got in a board above, a slightly lighter lubing with 205. These benefit from quite a thick amount, makes them glide super smooth. Lubing leaves less tactile. So these are linears, but yes, in general, if you lube the leaves, they will become less tactile because you're just making it glide smoother over it. Yes, so I'll show you on the stems on what not to lube as well. So do not lube if you want to keep them as tactile as they are now, if you've got V2s, don't lube the leaves at all. Leave the leaves alone. For Healios, what I generally suggest is lube the housing rails. That's it. Housing rails, and maybe, so you can see on the housing rails here, I would say lube the rails and then maybe the back and maybe the well with a very light lube. Don't do anything too heavy. I lube the rails on mine with 205 and then the back with 205, and then the well I will lube with 104 or 103, just so that I can get rid of some of that sort of scratchiness that might have on the post of the stem. So let me grab this. Unfortunately, right before the stream started, I was just wiping my desk and I managed to wipe the stem holder, and it's pinged off underneath the TV somewhere. So literally as I was getting ready for this, 2 minutes before. So what I'll do is I'll get a little bit of lube on there and I'll show you. Grab this screwdriver. So here is the stem. Get the mousse. Okay, so you can see the stem here. Yeah. Well, so you can see the stem here. So the bits that you don't want to lube are these sections here and this section here. You want to leave those alone. So you can lube the back. You're fine to do that, but if you're using 205 or something like that, it's quite thick and it'll get on there either way. You can also lube the rails. If it would stay focused, come on. So you can lube these rails here and the post underneath. I'm trying to show you, but the camera isn't working very well. But for Healios, I would leave the stem alone. Just do the bottom housing. You'll get it in a nice enough stage. I'm just going to lube the top housing quickly because I need to do that. You don't, for Healios again, don't bother lubing the top housing. It only adds a tiny amount to it. Would you leave the springs? No, lube the springs. In fact, if you're using Healios springs, I would bin the springs entirely. Get some sprit springs instead. They are the Healios springs that are in there are very, very loud and very, very. I mean, they're just really loud. They make a horrible noise. Yeah, so what I'd say to do is get yourself a nice size bag, and I'll show you in a minute how I do mine. So let me just get this switch moved on a little bit. So I'm just going to grab a switch film out of here. This one looks like good as any. So let's just swap the switch film on there. I will need different. So for the springs, this is what I've got. I've got the Healio bag, the bag that the Healios came in. So all I do for this is just close it up so it's got a tiny little hole in there. There you go. So the springs, you can see the springs in there, and all you're going to have done is poured a little bit of lube into the bag. You can see that it's a little, almost like a little frosted, the bag. Yeah, you can see the bag's almost a little bit frosted. So, and then just give them a while. And I find that you get a good consistency on them. I've already done this once, so I won't do it for too long. So just do it for a minute or so, and then you'll have a perfectly lubed spring. If not, put a bit more lube into the bag and swirl around the bag once more. And you should be left with a perfectly lubed spring. And I have attempted to lube these Healios springs, but they're just not very good. But I mean, I use sprit springs pretty much for everything nowadays, seeing as they are just a mile ahead of the competitors. In my opinion, this is. I used Gateron springs a little while ago, but I got shown the testing results for those, and they can be up to 10% off. So, which is a pretty big margin, in my opinion. Cool. And that is going to be the switch completed. Pop the top on, drop it down slowly, done. Lovely and smooth. No clicks, no bumps, no nothing. So that is the board. That's the plate and the PCB done. Some horrible fingerprinting on there, but I won't bother about it too much. So that's the board. So what we're going to do is, behind me, in the box, let's just move some of this stuff out of the way quickly. I have a box that is going to make Jordan unhappy. Let's just put the PCB behind it. So in here we have got ourselves a black Tofu case. So this is one that I bought from a guy off of Mech Market. And again, I have opened it, so it's going to have fingerprints all over it. But solid black case. See all of the fingerprints. Look at that. Jesus. You give it a wipe. But I'll do that another time. Before taking some nice photos. So just get rid of this box. So that's the casing there. It's less so grubby fingers, it's more so that I've been touching the case when I've just been lubing or something like that. And so let's just make sure these are all placed in nicely. Lubing the case, new meta. Yes, yes. Alrighty. That's looking and feeling good. So that's in. Okay, so it's come with a little bag of gold screws. So this is the ultimate premium board, seeing as it's got brass plate, gold stabs, Helios, 72 gram gold springs, gold screws. I need some gold keycaps now. I think it was, who was it that did gold keycaps? Caps Unlocked. Caps Unlocked did a 24 karat gold keycap, and he said he would sell me one if I wanted one. So maybe I'll make that when the sub button comes in and I'm able to do donations and stuff. Maybe that's what we go for. 24 karat gold keycap. Or is that a bad idea? I'm not saying I'm going to be able to afford it. I'm going to say it's going to be a stream goal. Probably a very bad idea of a stream goal, but a stream goal nonetheless. The one really nice thing about these screws, they are magnetic. Makes my life a billion times easier. Literally a billion times easier. You should aim for a 104 with full gold keycaps, gold case, gold switches and a gold plate. Well, I mean, I could go for something like that if I want to be streaming for the next 100 years. Alrighty, so that is the plate in the case. So that's looking pretty twisty. So now we've got some keycaps here. So I've decided to put my GMK White on black onto this. It's got a little wobble in there. I think it's just how loose the spacebar is. That's nice though. That's very quiet. What I might well do is I might put some silencing rings onto some of these. So one thing, if you have noticed, the observant of you, I haven't seen anybody in the chat say about it, there is one switch that is getting it slightly different. I am a big fan of lock switches, so we've decided, well, I have decided to go for a nice lock switch. All of my boards are receiving them at the moment, so do you know the GMK? Do you know the nipple twist technique for GMK? No, I have never heard of this nipple twist technique. Please explain. I'm sure other people in the chat are also quite confused about what this technique is and what it involves. I'm also now slightly worried what you do to your keyboard. Because after the FN key, the keys are harder to take out, you grab them sideways with your fingers and rotate with them with your nipples. Nathan Kim does it in every stream. Okay, I'm alright. I'm gonna need to see this first before even ever thinking about attempting that technique. Sounds like you can do some harm. I'm also on the fence to whether it is actually real or not there, so. Oh, there's a very short playlist. Let's start over. Quite a nice playlist. Shorter than I remember it being. Did you choose the brass plate because of the sound? Yes, I did. I do love the sound of a brass plate now. Used to be a big fan of aluminium, just solid plates in general. Totally didn't just choose it because it's cool. No, I did choose it because of I like the sound of it now. I've gotten sort of used to it. There's a brass plate inside of this. I'm actually thinking about building a brass plate for the Norbauer, sort of the Nova Touch, the Nova Touch, the Cooler Master, the Master Keys Pro S. I'm thinking about making a plate, creating a plate file for that and everything, and then maybe even the Nova Touch further down the line. But yeah, just become a really big fan of that style, really. Style of sound, everything. How stiff the board is, everything. was nice looking in this pot and realising there's 3 caps left and actually having 3 spots for them to go into. Not having to trail through other stuff. Wickedy wickedy way. So that is this is the board finished. So let's just pick up. I'm going to add some, I've got them up here I think. This is my box of springs. They don't seem to be in there. Are they in this next one? And this is my other box of springs and other bits. Albeit this has actually got box. This originally was just box springs. Not in there either. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. Where is that? Got too much stuff on my desk, guys. There is a bag filled with something. Oh shit! Let me just put that back. Sorry, guys. How have you moved? Sorry. Let me just find where I've put these without nudging the camera again. They were here around my desk somewhere. Mine has disappeared. I had some sound dampening rings, you know, the rubber rings that you can put onto them and stuff. I had a bunch. Oh, there's some on these, and there's probably not on the backspace. I only want them for the space bar, so let's just steal them off of this for now. So these are just rubber O-rings, and I usually put them on the stabilised keys, just to help with a little bit of the noise. So just pop the space bar up. There we go, and we're up. So we're just going to add a couple of these O-rings. I probably only need one on each side. Because this seems to have more webbing than the other ones. So it's this way around. Just add one to the extra stumper level. After the stream, what I'll do is I'll find the others, and I'll put them on as well. Okay. That's a bit better. It's a little bit better. Alrighty guys, so what I'm going to just do is I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sound test to hear what it sounds like. And this will be at the next UK meetup, and so you can give it a try there as well. Albeit it'll probably have ink switches in by then, I'm hoping, or a Temu Silent Skies, one of the two. So, I mean, let's turn the music off for you guys. There we go. So let's have a listen. So. Found another culprit here, guys. guys can hear that? We're not done yet. You can't hear anything. Oh, sorry. We'll have to bring the camera in a little bit closer. I'm going to have to pull one of these switches up. It's not playing ball. It's got a little bump in it for some reason. So let's just pop her open and see what is going on. Doesn't feel like that. Let's just try putting it back together nicely. So let me put the music back on for you guys for the time being. Come on. There we go. I think it was just the switch film that wasn't quite. Again, this must be the. You guys can hear that, I assume. So we've got a culprit switch bottom, it sounds like. So let's just pop it back up. Okay. Let's grab a new switch bottom. Grab some lube. I don't know why that switch bottom was clicking a little bit, but okay, that's a new switch bottom done. How do I store brushes for lube? I have got a little paint pot, maybe not paint pot, like a pen pot, and I just leave them in that. Seems to be fine for storage. Brush facing up, obviously, but. So that switch bottom can go over there. It will end up in the bin. No bump to it now. Alright, and wow, that's interesting. That's come across onto the next one as well. Maybe it's the stem. I'm a bit perplexed. We'll go through every bit. Maybe it's a dud stem. So the switch. Alright, there's the stem. There's nothing on it, so we'll put the stem over there for now. It'll be the first Zeal stem that Maybe it's the finger pushing it down. No, it doesn't happen on the key next to it, so it's not user error right now, at least. There's definitely like a little click in it or something. But you can't tell that it's got a click in it when there isn't a keycap on it, so I will double check to make sure it's not just the N key. And obviously the only other final thing that I can do is swap the switch top out if it's not the stem. Okay, definitely can't feel it there. It's there. Alright. Swap keycaps. Still there. Not there on this switch. So is it the top housing? I'm going to swap the film and the top housing out at the same time. I'm going to dry swap it as well. Okay. Bizarre. Which means that that bottom housing and that stem that I've just pulled out are likely to be good. But we are nearing the end of this build, so once this is good, I think we should be home dry. Home and dry. So we're just gonna dry fit a top in. Again, doesn't feel like it's got a bump in there. Place it in. No bump. So it's one of those two bits. Bin. Okay. So I'm going to keep these here because I'll be able to use them another time. Put them over here for now. In fact, I need to remove the top housing. It's under the B key, isn't it? So let's just pop this open. Got to keep everything consistent, you know. Most listen to chill step, lo-fi hip hop song probably ever. This is the one good thing about a hot swap board though, is this would have taken multiple attempts. Desoldering, resoldering, desoldering, resoldering. I can just pop this out, pop the switch out, onto the next one. Got to swap the keycaps around. rest feel fine. So yeah, I think it's just one of the, so that's a V2 top on the V1 housing. So it seems that the V2 top is a dud nonetheless. So let's bring this in a little bit so you guys can see this right in front of my face now. So let's move the pop filter around so it's in front of me. Alright, I've turned the desktop audio off, and so what I'm going to do now is, this is roughly, what, 1.5 feet away from the board itself, so I'm just going to do a little typing test for you guys so you can have a little listen on how it sounds and tell me what you think. So you guys hear that fairly well, or? It's incredibly quiet. I mean, very, very quiet. They do become even quieter once they're lubed, so. So that's the board. So the real nice thing about this is, I'll unplug this one, is push this back up. One of the main reasons that I bought the HS60 is because of this very reason. So let's move this out of the way. So that's now out of the way. This, give it a second, is the reason. It's RGB. Look at that. A Razer keyboard owner's wet dream. So we'll put that there like that. What I'll do is I'm going to try and bring it forward a little bit further so I can get the nice screenshot for it, for the VOD. There you go. That is the board. So you can do some cool things with this. So because this is using VIA, not VEA. Let me just find the VIA configurator. So let's just load up VIA. So you can do some cool things with this. So if I bring this up, so we'll bring this up here so you guys can see it. So we're gonna do 50-50, so you can do a 50-50 mix, and this is on the fly. You can see this is doing a gradient vertical hue on the fly, so we're going yellow to blue here, so it's going through green and getting to the color we want. So you can move the bottom one around a bit, so we're going to go for a nice red, so that's like a yellow to a red. We'll go to a, you can go to a light red, like a white, and so this is happening on the fly. I like a nice blue, so a nice blue to a light blue, something like that. Dark blue to a light blue, something like that. It's just nice. But you can do solid colour, so we can go for a nice razor green. or you can do cycle all. So it's just going to cycle through all of the colours, as you can see. My favourite one is the horizontal effect, but you can cycle it vertically, so it'll cycle downwards. Raindrops. So this should move about. Radial hue all. So you can see that it's just doing a radial loop like that. And radial one colour. See, it's going through the colour nicely there. But definitely my favourite is the horizontal cycling. And obviously, you can turn it off. So if you decide that you don't want it on. So that's just showing off a couple of the features that this allows. Quietest board ever. It's pretty quiet. How many keyboards have you built now? So this will be my. I mean, I've got 7 here, 7 or 8. I've had a couple of others after that, so I've probably built 20 or 30 so far. I've probably built about 20 client boards, and then I've probably got my boards, which is about 10 or 12, something like that, maybe a few more. Is that 16.8 million colours? I don't know how many colours it is. I'm assuming that it is going to be 16.8 million colours. Is VIA easier than QMK? Yes, by far, way easier. But the board has to be supported in VIA, and it just uses a nice front end for QMK pretty much, from what I understand. It's using all of the same key codes, everything like that. It doesn't support all of the QMK functions yet. So one of the functions that I am definitely missing is the locking caps right now. The locking caps isn't supported fully. It doesn't lock when I want it to. So I need to learn a whole other program for the HS60. No. So let me just bring the board up here for you on screen. Can I bring a screen region up? So window capture, VIA configurator, okay. Oh, I've broken it. Let's just add, where is it? Window capture, VIA, don't make the source visible straight away. VIA configurator. Why is the VIA configurator not showing up nicely? Let me just see if I can do a screen region or something like that. The VIA thing isn't playing nice here for some reason. Video capture device, no. I'm not very good with this sort of stuff, guys, sorry. Display capture. Just do a display capture. So you guys will be able to see everything that I've got on screen pretty much. I wonder. There you go. We'll put it onto this screen here. So we'll just shrink this down a little. So you guys will be able to see this. So this is the VIA screen here. Yeah. So say that this is on the fly stuff here, yeah. So this will just show you VIA very quickly. So if I go to keys up in the top left hand corner, you guys can't see see it up there. Unfortunately, I am doing a display capture to show you this here. In fact, I can probably squeeze it down a little bit more. So there you go. Let's just bring it up a little. So these are all the keys that we've got here. So really easy if you decide that you want to change things about. Say I don't want backspace to be KC backspace anymore. I want it to be the letter M. Just press M. That's on the fly. It's done. I mean, if I type here, it's showing up as M's. I've posted that into chat as M's. Yeah, that's just hitting the backspace. Yeah. So let's put that back in because I do want backspace to be backspace. So where is backspace? Space, down, up, right, left, right. Where is backspace? Layers, special keys. Copy, paste, back. Just need to do the basics. I've lost. Next to tab, it says. Next to tab. Tab, there we go. So press it again. Backspace is back. So now I can hit backspace all I like and it'll work perfectly. I should get a WordPad up here, look. Let's get a WordPad up here. So you guys can see the WordPad. So let's just change the backspace to M again. Bring the WordPad up. I'm hitting, as you can see on screen, hitting backspace. The letter M is coming up now. Yeah? Let's change that back to backspace. So backspace, bring WordPad back up. Backspace is now working again. Just that easy. So the really nice bit of it is the lighting controls. As I said, the lighting controls are on the fly. So I'll bring the board up here. Solid colour. We've now got a solid colour. Albeit one of the LEDs seems to be stuck. Interesting. This was the LED that I had issues with earlier. So let's just flick it to different ones. There you go. Cycle all. This LED was stuck last time, so I'll have to have a look into that. But your HS60 won't have that issue. So I'm just swapping between them. Go back to the horizontal one because that was working quite nicely. Is it changing colour? It's changing colour radially. Just solid colour, it doesn't seem to like it for some reason. I'm happy with this. So, yep, no flashing involved, no flashing whatsoever. It flashes it on the fly. So each change that I made there, I wasn't having to press flash, I wasn't having to hit a button. Change it, it changes on the board straight away as long as the board is connected. If you notice, if I unplug it, it's now trying to find a compatible keyboard. Just that easy, just that easy. And so I found my compatible keyboard. It was on my desk all along. I will plug it in, if I can plug it in. I've plugged it in, give it a second, bosh. And you can do multiple layers, so you can do all of the layer stuff. You see there, there's 3 layers that you can choose. I only use 4 layers, so layer 0, layer 1, 2, 3, 4 layers total. I only use 1 and 2. And so the only switch, the only one that I don't have functionality for is the locking switch. So Alex, you say that you can see that it says locking caps lock. So in the specials section here, you've got locking caps lock. But I'll have a look here. So this is, you've got normal, like the normal scroll lock, normal lock switches, and then there is the special key code, which is if I press on it, press this, you can see it's KC LCAP, which is the locking caps. So I, from what I understand, they're going to be building that in fairly shortly. It just doesn't work at the moment. See, if I hit the caps, it doesn't type at all. Turn it off. It's working. Turn on. Turn off. So it's not working at all at the moment. So I'm assuming that they're building functionality in for that fairly shortly, because it's quite an easy one for them to sort out. But yeah, that is the how easy VIA is, and VIA is so much easier than QMK that I am hoping that other boards are going to start being incorporated into it, because it's just a million miles easier. I hate using QMK with a passion. I don't like coding in it. I don't like using the configurator at all. This makes it so much easier. But, so guys, that brings me to the end of the stream. I hope you've all enjoyed it. This is my HS60, and if you've got any questions, obviously you've got my Discord there available. So if you have any questions, anything like that, drop me a message on Discord, and I'm happy to have a chat about building. And if you found that all of this stuff that I've been talking about today, it is an easy keyboard, but if it's all gone over your head and you're still confused and you don't want to build it yourself, drop me a message. I am a keyboard builder, and I can build yours on stream as well. So, but nonetheless, I need to get going out because I have got a cinema to go see. I need to go see Captain Marvel tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. Go grab some food beforehand. So, but I hope you've all had a very nice Sunday so far, and I will see you again next time. See you later, guys.